Pueblo City County Library District Staff Training presents Suggested Purchases in BiblioCommons. How will the upgrade differ from the current system? New software will be integrated into BiblioCommons. A link will appear in the customer's account. So when a patron logs into BiblioCommons using their library card number and PIN, or their username and PIN, they'll see a link. When they click on My PCCLD, there will be a link at the bottom that says Suggested Purchases. When they go to this area, they can fill out a form to suggest a purchase. They'll be limited to 5 suggestions per month. And then if they trigger an interlibrary loan, they'll be limited to 5 interlibrary loans per month. This will require the patron to enter the year to trigger interlibrary loan determination. At this time, for those of you who've used the current request form, at the bottom there's a button that you select to either click interlibrary loan or purchase. But it will deny suggestions that are older than 2 years on the new system and recommend an interlibrary loan instead. The new system will also require patrons to place their own hold after a material is purchased. So why upgrade the system? One of the main reasons for upgrading the system is to improve communication with customers. As many of you know, when you fill out a request form, there isn't a way for a patron to receive a message on whether or not the library purchased their material or were able to get it through interlibrary loan, or neither. What we tell patrons is that if they wait 7 to 10 business days, their item will appear on their holds list if they were able to acquire the material. The software will also allow staff to better manage requests. At this time, there are over 10,000 requests per year. In 2007, there was only a handful of requests, so clearly we need a new system and tools to better keep up with the demand of the public. Another issue that the system will help is help limit the serial abuse of the old system. So all of us know of a patron who comes in with many requests or calls over the phone and has a list of requests. This newer system will prevent individuals from making 5 requests per person per month. So they'll be stopped at 5, and after that they won't be able to make any more purchases. So we'll also prevent duplicate requests. So patrons who request the same item over and over and over again. The new system also has a lot of required fields. Many of the records that are requests that have been coming in have insufficient detail provided. So they're lacking the correct title or author, different things like that that make it impossible for the librarian to fulfill that request. The system will also prevent queue jumping. So individuals who request something very, very early on before something is released so that they'll be first on the holds list. So when will the upgrade happen? So staff will be presented with a new demo during the summer. Feedback from staff will be taken as they practice using the new system. Hopefully the launch will take place in fall. And please contact Rich Paul at extension 228 with comments and suggestions. So what are the learning objectives? So first, we want you to understand how the upgrade differs from the current system. We also want you to understand how to access suggested purchases on BiblioCommons, learn how to suggest a purchase and fill the required fields, and what different fields there are than the old form. We also want you to understand the various responses patrons will receive. So patrons will be told that the item has been purchased, they weren't able to purchase the item, or they will be automatically sent a form to request the material from interlibrary loan. Or they'll be told, hey, we already have this in the catalog. So here's the link to the demo. Please copy this link down to practice. Now remember, this is just a link in Sandbox. You will need your library card number and PIN to log in, but any requests or interlibrary loans you practice in the system will not be fulfilled. Let's begin. So now I've clicked on the link and gone to the demo for BiblioCommons. You'll see currently that the current request button is still available up in the top right-hand corner. When this launches, this will no longer be available. Now, it's important that patrons log into their BiblioCommons account to have access to this area. To access the suggested purchases, click on My PCCLD. Down below, you'll see My Settings, and at the very bottom is Suggested Purchases. If I click on this, you'll see that no purchases have been made under this library card. Right here, you'll see that I have made 0 of 5 purchases or suggested purchases for the month. So here, I'm going to make a suggestion. And remember, this is just a demo, so none of the suggestions that you make will actually be purchased through the library. So I'm going to click on this button here. So this is the new form that you see when you click on Make a Suggestion. You'll notice, just like before, we have red asterisks throughout, identifying the fields that we must fill in. So for example, here we have the title, author, performer, or director. This is particularly important for individuals requesting films. Many films have the same title. It's also required that you fill out which format the individual wants. ISBN is not required, but if you're going to use it, or if a patron asks, you want to use ISBN 13. You can also put in the publisher. And most importantly now, we have the publication year. And remember, we asked for this because if it's 2 years old, the system will automatically give them a reply to request an interlibrary loan. We also have an audience box and what sort of content and language. So I'm going to fill out a request for a film. So here I'm going to enter the title. It's a film called Into the Abyss. It's a documentary. The director is Werner Herzog. And the format here, I want it in DVD. Now I'm going to go to the publication year, and I believe it was around 2012 that this was released. Next, I'm going to choose the audience. This is a documentary with adult content. It will be in our adult collection. And under content, it's nonfiction. And the film is in English. Next, I'm going to hit Submit Suggestion. You'll see here that my status is pending review. This means that an individual will look at my request and decide whether or not it fulfills the library's purchasing category. Next, I'm going to make a suggestion for an older book. So here, I'm interested in Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. I believe the last name of the author here is Wiggins. And this book was published in the 20th century. I'm not quite sure of the date, but it's older, and I saw a copy of it that was released in 96. So I'm going to put 1996 here. This is a children's book. It's fiction, and I want it in English. I've almost forgot the format. I want it in book. The library has this in audiobook and ebook, but not in book format. So I'm going to hit Submit Suggestion. You'll see automatically the status response right here. And it says, thank you for your suggestion, but the library will not be purchasing this title as the publication year is older than what we prioritize for new purchases. Please consider an interlibrary loan. Here will be the link for interlibrary loan. The individual can click on that right away and fill out the information for an ILL request. To show you what some of the other examples of responses to requests look like, you'll see here, this is another demo account. Here I have requested Idiot Abroad. It's a show with Ricky Gervais, season 3, and it came out in 2013. I put in this request, and not too long after that, I received a response that said the item will be ordered. Please check our catalog periodically for its availability. Now remember that if the library decides to purchase the item, the patron will not automatically be put on the holds list as before. So the person will have to go through and look to see when it's in order status and then place it on hold. You'll also see here that I have used all five of my suggestions for this month. And at the beginning of the month, at the first of every month, the suggestions will be upped to 5 again. You also have separately 5 interlibrary loan requests. So an individual, if they are denied a suggestion for purchase, they still have the option to purchase 5. Thank you for watching this training. Remember to log into the link below to practice using suggested purchases. Please contact Rich Paul at extension 228 for comments and suggestions. Also remember to inform your manager that you have watched this training so that you get credit with My Paychex. Thank you again.